Hello, Slothrin and adult fans of Lego. It's time for another brief episode of Sloth City. Because today's a work day for me. I'm going to be going into work in a while. But meanwhile, I have some time to amuse myself, and it has been pouring with rain and blowing a gale outside, so I am up in Sloth City, and we have a whole new influx of brand new citizens, and they all have their own hopes and dreams and desires and reasons for coming to Sloth City. And so I decided, while I had this time before they all went their separate ways and got swallowed into the bustling metropolis of Sloth City, that we would take this opportunity to meet them and find out their myriad reasons for coming here. And, well, if not myriad, at least they have a variety of reasons for wanting to come here. And it might be educational for you to learn a little bit more about our citizens. So let's get started. First of all, we have another fine rock monster. And his reason for coming here is quite simple. It's because he has been invited to join his relatives who have already come to Sloth City and have found that it is a wonderful and welcoming community where rock monsters are appreciated and are valued members of society and are not, they are valued members of society and everybody welcomes them here. Let's not talk about what doesn't happen. So, that's why we have this another fine rock monster gentleman who has joined us in Sloth City. And moving on, we have an alien friend who is joining us in Sloth City. This green gentleman says that in the places where he has been before, he has been stigmatized and has been, people have been prejudiced against him. He has been typecast and has been assumed to be some sort of miscreant, some sort of lawbreaker, simply because he is a green alien with 4 arms, and he wants to point out that these are useful things to have. There is nothing wrong with having another set of arms. He can work twice as hard with this second set of arms. He is twice as valuable a member of society. And he has heard that we have other aliens and other citizens who have extra limbs, shall we say. And so he thought that this would be a good place to come, and he doesn't want anybody to be referring to him by any sort of pejorative name such as frenzy. He wants to be known by his chosen name of Jean Fromage. So thank you for joining us, Monsieur Fromage. And I hope that you find everything in Sloth City to be as welcoming as you expect it to be. I'm sure you will. And then here we have another citizen who was originally from, I believe, the Mars colonies. And he does not want to be mistaken for any other members of his society, who, according to some people, they all look alike. He says we do not all look alike. And so that he may be easily discerned from any others of his species, he wants to be called Daisy, and he has adorned himself so that you can recognize that he is, in fact, Daisy. Similarly, excuse me, I'm getting in the way, so let me move myself. Similarly, this fine Nexo Knight robot fellow says that he does not want to be called Macybot. It is an undignified name that only refers to his previous state of servitude, and that he wishes to be referred to as Marty McFly. And so, we welcome Mr. McFly. Thank you for joining us in Sloth City, Marty. And I hope that you also have a most welcoming experience here now that you are no longer in durance vile, in bondage, in servitude, now that you are in a free society. Moving on, this fine robot says that he was previously known as Pilot Bot, and he has no problem with his name of Pilot Bot because it refers to his profession, and he is a pilot by profession. And he came here because he heard that we have a lot of planes and ships and vehicles that need pilots, and he wanted to know whether we had one that he could operate and go about his chosen profession. And of course, indeed we do. So before we move on further in the video, we are just going to briefly introduce him to his new vehicle that he will be piloting. So let's do that now. And there we have it. A fine vehicle for our fine pilot bot friend. And as you can see, if you look closely, if we can get it to focus, it has been retrofitted for his security and protection so that he can securely ride in his vehicle without worrying about bouncing promiscuously about the cockpit of it because of his height. And so his feet are firmly attached there to the instrument panel in front so that he need not worry in times of space turbulence. And look how happy he is. So there, already a fine and satisfied new citizen in Sloth City. And we wish him the best as he goes about his new independent profession of piloting in Sloth City. Moving on. Here we have another new citizen of Sloth City, and he says that his reasons for coming here is that there has been a great disturbance in the wider LEGO universe concerning the universe of Bionicle, and that he was not interested in participating in this political strife, this social strife, this melodrama concerning themes and bionicalness and whether Bionicle is good, Bionicle is bad. He is not going to be drawn into politics. He has come to Sloth City to avoid politics, where he can just be a valued member of Sloth City society without ever having to be concerned about a Bionicle reference again. And so he wants to be known as George. So thank you, George, for coming to Sloth City. And I hope that you find it everything that you intend it to be. I am sure that you will find other like-minded people who are happy to have you here on your own terms, and you can invent yourself and develop yourself, and you can be all that you want to be. Next, we have Gilbert. And Gilbert is a little bit unusual in the fact that he is the only human type in this particular wave of immigrants. And he is here just because he heard that it was a very welcoming and inclusive community where he could find someone who would appreciate him for the fine person that he is, and where he could go about his day and be sure of finding a community full of welcoming individuals of like minds. And so, welcome, Gilbert. And lastly, let's go ahead and pull him out here so that we can see him a little bit better. He's quite short. This is another, well, android or robot, I suppose. I cannot tell you a thing about him. I cannot tell you where he came from, and he can't really tell me himself. He sounds kind of like R2-D2 if you try to talk to him, and so I'm just calling him Beep. But he has on this unfortunate helmet that might help him if he is going to be doing some sort of targeting thing, but as it is, you really can't see his face, so let's just take a moment to remove that so that we can all meet Beep and appreciate him for who he is. Just one moment. There. That's better. Now you can see his face, and we can know who he really is. And obviously, he is just a fine little bot who is looking to make his own life and make friends in Sloth City. And because I am not a robot or android type, I also have brought in another citizen who will be better equipped to talk to him and understand him and can show him around the town, take him over to the Robot and Android Center where he can, find all kinds of like-minded individuals and have all of his needs met. Lest you be concerned. Just because I can't really communicate with him doesn't mean that his own kind cannot communicate with him. He is among friends here. And that is it for this little update of Sloth City. Just a chance to introduce you to some new citizens and let them explain why they came to Sloth City, why they're here. And until the next episode of Sloth City, which I hope you'll join me, I hope that you, my dear Slothrin and adult fans of Lego, have a most excellent day.